This conference will now be recorded.
Hi, very good morning and good evening, everyone. Welcome back. So yesterday we were talking about, certain process enhancement we're doing, okay, with respect to the environments, right? And also what we have done is we are just making the AMI process from, we're migrating the AMI process from, um, we're migrating the AMI process from shell scripting to Ansible. So that's another part we're doing. And as a part of doing that, so we actually came up with some process. Okay, this is the process we came through. And what is the process we are having here is, so once after the CI activity is done, then what I have to do is I will be doing, once my CI activity is done, so then what I'll be doing is I'll be making an okay, so two different approaches. Basically, if it can be immutable, you do one thing, you do something. If it is immutable, you do something. We'll start with the immutability, and so we'll be going with create an AMI for this particular environment. So that's what I wanted to do. Yeah. So this is what this is what I wanted to do, and how do I make this AMI is so simply running the pipeline. You get an AMI, so that is fine. You get the AMI, but yeah, I think that's fine. Just to start with, I think just go to the AMI. So we will make the AMI. So releases. So the AMI should be created without any failure. So that's what I'm trying to do. I'll try to do. Also, this AMI, yeah, that's okay. Let it happen. Just creating the instance. So it created the instance and then it started connecting to the instance. So to run our Ansible commands and all. So let's wait for that. Oh, there is an error. Okay, what is that error? It's telling. So it ran all Ansible related things. That's fine. So duplicate AMI. So the AMI name is in use. Yes, of course, we need to handle this as well. So now, what is the AMI name I want to give it? The AMI name I want to give is I want to give the same name which the tag is coming up, right? So I just want to use the same thing. So that means as of now you have the AMIs, which is something like this. Okay, so now I want to give friend end hyphen the tag, whatever it is coming from there, right? So I have to use that particular tag, and we already kind of use that particular tag actually inside Terraform. If I just go into the Terraform instance.tf app, so we're already using that kind of app version here, right? So the same thing I would like to give it here. So var.component hyphen, so dollar okay, so dollar var dot app underscore version. So this is what you have. Okay, so now I want to give this. All right, so let me push the code, and let me go ahead and create the pipeline once again. So the AMI name actually, the AMI may contain only only, like, so the braces, and if a dot is there, then why it is not taking it up? Must be between 3 and 128 characters long, and also may contain letters, numbers. Okay, and comma, you can have these parentheses. Dots is also fine. Then why I'm not sure it is working? It's not working. Okay, so I also found another problem. So since my Terraform is failure, it's actually destroying my resources. Okay, I don't want to destroy my resources. So a couple of things, modification here, edit pipeline. I'll go there. I'll go to the Azure DevOps and I'll go to the task, and so my Terraform, so apply is failing. I want to stop there itself. So that's where fail on standard error is there. Then why it's not failing? Not sure. Okay. For now it is okay. Let it be. So now, yeah, major thing I wanted to have is the file name of the image. Basically, the file name is having a problem, and so here Azure Artifact version it is taking this. Okay, where.component hyphen where.app artifact version. So where.app artifact version, what it might be taking. Let's go to the pipelines. Let's go releases. Sorry, and go inside this. I just want to check the output. So hyphen pull. So, and if you look into the command here, so Azure app artifact version is coming as empty. That's the problem. Okay, app artifact version is not coming. It's actually coming as empty. Okay, so app artifact version is empty. So why is it empty? Because so this might be coming as empty. So I'll just go to the edit pipeline, and I'll go here, environment variables over here. So this might be coming as empty, app underscore build number. So I want to identify these also first of all. So I will just say exit, no, env, and I'll just comment out these things. Or let it be this. So I want to do some debugging. So I just enabled env. So because yesterday, you remember, we collected from that environment variable only. Okay. But why all of a sudden it's not coming? I'm not sure. So actually it should come. It actually should come as 0.0.18. It's showing here. Okay. So it should not fail. So let's see what is the failure and what is the mistake we have done. Yeah, if you look into the env, so then you're going to have app underscore build number is coming. App underscore build number is coming as 0.0.18, and uh-huh. So second. So if you see here, release artifact underscore app build number is this one, and we uh, build 0.0. So this is the one, release artifacts app. Okay, and now if I look for this particular variable you have here and you have here, all right, and so here there is something, tf underscore var underscore app underscore artifact is coming as this variable it is taking. It's actually correct only, but here it is not found. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, release app build number is 0 dot this one is coming, and the same variable actually going here. Actually I'm thinking, so the braces would be a problem. I'm using this parenthesis. I think it might be a flower parenthesis. Okay, let me give a try. I'm not sure. Let me give a try. So edit pipeline and go to this one environment variables. It's actually is okay, but actually it's an environment variable from shell, so I'll prefer to use this actually. Okay, this parenthesis. So click on save. Let me solve this particular problem first, and create a release. So here it is. Now it's coming flower parenthesis, but still it is coming that way only. Let's see. Still some problem. Still the same problem, I think. Okay, and also another thing I wanted to, so identify the issue. Like how do I identify the issue is, I would like to go with pipeline, and so it's a shell variable you're actually parsing. Mm, this one, right? I want to test this. So whether it is really coming or not. So I want to test this as well. So test in the very first place. So first thing, env I can comment it out. This is not needed. First I'm testing echoing. Okay, so whether it is working or not, I will check it out. Okay, so this is fine. And after this, so what I need to do is so I want to so print from my so from my Ansible also. How can I print it from my Ansible every time is so here I just want to go with something like this. Here where app version, right? So now I just want to tell to my one second. Sorry. So every time I want to run this, so that I'll come to know that whether Ansible command is actually picking up this particular variable or not. So only the null provisioner will provide you one flexibility that you can make your provisioner to run every time. So how can you do that is there is something called as triggers. This is only available for null resource in Terraform. This helps you in so this helps you in triggering at what time you want, or at a, at which condition you want to trigger. I want to say that so ABC is equal to timestamp. So there's a timestamp function. Timestamp function so changes every time. If there is any change in this value, then this resource will be re-triggered. And timestamp will every time it will change. You change the second, every time it will change. Okay, so that is the reason. So I just want to put it a timestamp. This is a little hack, so just to run this resource every time. So this is a little hack to run this resource every time. All right, so I'll just do this. Okay, cool. And so now I just want to rerun once again. I'm just doing troubleshooting. Okay, so let's see. Now I'll go with, let's save this. Okay, and let's create a release. So now you see this only provisioner is getting run, which is null resource provisioner. It's actually connecting, and you see this the command basically. Now you look into the Ansible pull command, and are you getting that particular variable? No, still it's empty. Still from the Terraform side it is empty. So there is something still going wrong. Okay, so yeah. So yeah, still it will fail. So unless until we have that variable, it will fail. Okay, so now let's go to then. Okay, so now I'm seeing like echo dollar I'm giving, it's not working. So first of all, this statement, this is not working. Now how do I make it work? Okay, so I just don't want to create a new release completely. I want to edit this release, and I want to just give a trial and error method here. So I just edited the release, I go to the task, and now only this release I'm modifying. I just commented out all these things. Okay, so just give only environment variables. I want to put it like in this one in flower braces. Okay, so this variable data is not coming. That's the problem basically. Okay, so I'll tell you what I know, something what's going on, but still, yeah. So I want to do some trial and error methods. Now I deploy, so this deployment will happen only on the existing release only. It will not go for the new release. If I go to the logs, it will show you this is a deployment attempt 2. The previous one is also there if you just go for attempt 1. Okay, so this helps you in editing the same release rather than I'll just go and create every release again. Because I'm doing trial and error method. I'm not finalized to go and edit the pipeline to do the things. But if you do the edit release, you cannot change any sources. If you put a new code, that will not work. It works on the same code, previous code, but only the steps, whatever you do, will work. You can modify. Now the bash script is telling that, it is still empty. Okay. So yeah, first of all, it's not coming the data. Data is not coming. So I'll just go with the edit release and I'll just go here and I go here. So now this is a little tricky thing. So then what I wanted to, what I'll plan here is I'll just delete it from here and I am just going to go for export this variable. Okay, so this variable is equal to dollar, and in this one, okay, I just do the export and then I'll just take it up this one. Okay, so rather than here, I'm actually exporting it here. Okay, so why? Because why it is not working is, see, this works only if the data is coming from kind of a variables. The data is not coming. See, try to understand here the logical. Okay, the logic, why it didn't work actually. Let me tell you. So you have some variables configured here, you remember, right? So those are these variables. So Azure RAM, artifact, this one, and even this var component is also this. This you are hard coding it here. This you are hard coding it here. But actually, this can be declared over here. But now this variable, whatever you're declaring, right? So tf var, that actually comes when this actually script starts. When the script starts and the environment comes, and that point of time only this variable come into picture. Now you are hard coding that particular data here, so it will not work at all. Okay, so that is the problem which is happening, and that's where the problem is happening. Now this will work. So since I'm exporting it here, okay, so now it will work. So let's see. You see that it will not now. Okay, so now you see this. So you're getting that particular value. All right, now I'll just make the edit release once again. So I'll just go with the edit release and I'll just make sure I uncomment this as well, and I'll run those things and it will work. I'll work only this much, make apply. So just click on save. Okay. Now I'm expecting the image to be created. Let's see. So let's see the Ansible command now. It should be there. So now you see this app artifact version 0.0.18, perfect. And now actually it will start AMI. So the AMI is getting kicked off. Yeah, there you go. All right. So that's how you can do that. So now I'll just go with the pipeline. And so you made changes all to the previous release. Now you need to make the changes. So now here, how to do this, like, export this one is equal to this one, and you don't require this, and you don't require this. You can just put this, just click on save. Now, once after this is done, I just want to enhance this pipelines a little bit, okay? And I wanted to show you different options in pipelines, okay? I mean, pipelines in the sense releases majorly. We'll see. Cool. And I'll just go to the release and I'll make a final one more release once again. So create a release because we updated the pipeline and it needs to delete the servers and all. So yeah, that part is not done here really. So I'll just create the release. The new release will, so already the AMI is there. The same state file is there. It will not go ahead and recreate one more AMI. It just goes and deletes the resources, whatever it is being created, like server majorly. Cool. So all my pipeline went fine, and my AMI is there, and everything is okay. Right. So if I go into the look into the, so AMIs, this AMI is fine. Go to the instances, so try to refresh all the instances should be in terminated state. All right, cool, good. The next thing, so which I wanted to do here is little enhance. Now the process we have set it up is for front end, and isn't the same process for other components as well. For catalog, same process. Cart, same process. For everything, it is going to be the same process. Now same process means same steps I have to do. Okay, so that means I have to go to, if I click on AMI, so what all the steps I have. So everything also should be having the same thing. So now if I go for payment, like let's say AMI, whatever you have, but I made some changes in the front end, and the same changes I have to change to everywhere. Hmm. So don't you think this is a bit boring? Okay, why? Because it's a duplication effort, right? So my AMI is a quite standard one. Okay, my AMI is a quite standard one. So now there are two approaches to this. One is so one is you have a single, so single release basically, so single release, creating AMI. Now what you can do is you can just use the other components, like so like your catalog, okay, catalog or a cart, so kind of these components call this particular piece, okay, which is a release. This is one approach. Okay, so this is the release. This is one approach. Okay, so and what is the other approach? Basically the other approach is so this is one release and talking to another release and creating it. That is one approach, and passing the information. So while this one is while this one is actually triggering this one will pass the information to this one saying that, hey, I am catalog, okay, I need this version and something like that. All those information you need to pass and it should work. That is one approach that can be done. Okay, that can be done or not done, I'm not sure on the tool side. So that is one approach. Or alternatively, so so you can have a centralized so release AMI. So what you can do is you can always so you can always embed this into your catalog pipeline or release pipeline, cart or whatever it is. So this is one. Okay, this is one approach. So and you embed this one into your pipeline. So this is another approach. So there are two things. One, this one, they will trigger the individual release which is out there. Now this is no more release. Now this is a simple create AMI, some code, piece of code or whatever it is. So you embed everywhere. Now you modify this one and everything will get affected. So you have to think about little global, little holistic. So not only very particular to the existing component, you have to look into tomorrow also. If that requirement comes, what you should do. Okay, so that kind of scenarios you should think of. Okay, so that is um, okay, so that is what I wanted to do. Now I'll see any approach is fine for me. You see, if it is a separate release also, I'll update in one place. Every component will get triggered the same thing, no issues. Or if I keep a piece of code, I'll update the piece of code. Anything is what this particular tool is offering, I will just choose that particular approach. I don't know this particular tool. Okay, so we'll just look into that options and what is possible. Okay, so now let's go and try to do some test pipeline, and we'll understand so how it is, or create a test release, and we'll try to do that. So is everyone clear? Are everyone with me basically on this? Everyone understanding like what I'm actually trying to follow? Any questions on this so far before proceeding? The logic? All good? So first we'll see whether we can trigger a separate release as a part of this release. This release should trigger another release. Is that possible? Let's take a look. I'm also not sure. Let's take a new release pipeline, and I call it something like so something. I'll put an empty job, and I will just say test Okay, save. All right, and so now what I wanted to do is I just want to add a task. Now here as this one, I wanted to trigger another pipeline. So if I want to trigger trigger Azure DevOps pipeline. So build and release management task to trigger Azure DevOps release or build pipeline. Yeah, you have an option. Okay, I will just click on get it for free because that particular component is not installed in my account. Even in your case also you will see this. So you can just click on get it free. So once it is done, okay, install. Proceed to organization. All right, cool. And the next one which is going to be here is yeah, so now click on plus and search for trigger. Now you have already added, right? Then why it's coming that way? Need to refresh, might be. Yeah. Yeah, now it came on the top. So down is the marketplace which are available, and this is the one. So just click on add and you got something here. What it is telling, it requires Azure DevOps service connection. So that means I have to click on a new service connection. And so here you have to give the PAT and everything. All right. So I will just give my organization only, right? Okay. They made it in a very holistic way. So that means it can trigger any other account also. Okay. So that means I'll just go with here and I'll give what is my organization name is so DevOps hyphen batches. All right. So I'll just go here and give this much and give this much. Release API URL. Okay, release API URL is organization. So they're telling only organization. The URL of release API. Yeah, this much. And I think PAD. So PAD probably I will give some PAD, which is some admin access, something like that. Okay. So here, so just new token. Let's say D53, something like that. One or something like that. So just 30 days or like 90 days. And I think this is a full access I'll be giving, and just click on create. I copy this, just go back there, give this one service connection one is D53, something like that, and just click on save. Then what it happened, it created one new service actor. Okay, so now it automatically fetches the details, it seems. Yes. Now go which release I want to create, trigger. So DevOps 53. And so the next one is a pipeline. You want to go with a pipeline or build? I want to trigger the pipeline only, or sorry, release. And release definition I want to use is what is the release definition? Which one? Okay, cool. Now I create one something, okay, and I use that. Okay, so then I'll be just doing this much. Okay, just for time being I'll just keep something. I'll just give something, and you don't want to give anything like this, just click on save. Okay, so this much I'm making it up, but I wanted to go with so cloning or just clone this one front end, and I'll say that it's only the AMI. Okay, and just remove this, delete this. If AMI is this is removing, this is also not needed, and this app is also not needed. Yeah, app is also not needed. Now you have the AMI. Okay, so AMI and following to AMI. So just click on save. And this AMI also, if you just go inside that, you're hard coding the values, something like so front end and dev environments. You should not hard code the values here. Okay, so you should grab them. Okay, as a part of the other pipeline. Cool. Okay, so now I'll just go with releases. So there is a new AMI created, and there's also a new release pipeline created. Just click on edit. Now I will go and say that so this one, and I want to make AMI, so make AMI, and I would like to say D53 and D53. So now actually we got a new one, which is AMI. I want it say to this. Release description, build number, you want to pass something, control options you have, and that's okay. Variables is okay. Okay, but I don't variables you have, no, right? So, and how do I pass some information to this? That's quite interesting. Okay, so just click on save. Now I go to the other pipeline. Now you see this. I go to the AMI and I will say that, hey, you require a couple of parameters. You require a couple of parameters. So what all? How can I say that? I'll just go to the variables and I will say that add tf underscore var underscore what is the variable I have to use, var.env var.env. So this actually settable at release time. You see this settable at release time. So I just click on save. Now I updated my pipeline. I'll go back to the new pipeline, so which is release. Click on edit. So now I will just go to the task and I will say so something, save it. Okay, and I'll modify this, put it like AMI and save this. Now is it asking any options? No. Okay, so then the description, build number, the succeeded build number to the release of the primary artifact, and release now. Or this stages you would like to trigger with comma. Okay, but I don't have an option of passing the variables. I am feeling not comfortable with this. Okay, I'm not having any kind of variables, then I cannot use this because my requirement is to trigger the pipeline along with some variables. For dev environment I use this, for prod environment I use this, and for front end I use this, for catalog I use this. I have to parameterize it. If that is not accepting the parameters, then yeah, I'm not really interested in this. Okay, so then what should I do here? So yeah, it's not coming. Okay, let me take let me go to the this one, and I will just look any other additional plugins which are there. Build task that can trigger a new build so that the build chaining is possible, supports well condition triggers. So trigger Azure DevOps pipeline. So build and trigger, this is already done. I mean, I already tested that. So trigger a new build in the same or this one. Let me go with free and see. So what this trigger build task is telling, trigger build task. Okay, but before to this even no, that also is not possible. No. And what this guy is telling? Not sure. Okay, this is the challenge I'm facing basically. If you don't have any parameters, this is fine. But since we have some parameters, and if we have some parameters, so how does it work? Okay, need to find it out. Release and then but yeah, I think something else is also, I'm just thinking something else. So now I will just give a try. Okay, so first of all, let me save this, done. I'll go to the other AMI one. So I will say AMI, click on edit, and I will say that here rather than just running all these commands, I'll just run only env. So I will just give only env. This is also will not work. That also mark it empty. Click on save. Save. Okay, and I will go with this. And I go to the new release. Create a new release. So this triggers the AMI. Okay, let's see. Why taking longer time? Okay, okay, got it, got it. Let me cancel this. So we chosen an agent which is not proper. So let me go with edit pipeline. So I need to choose the right agent. So go here, Agent actually is taking this one. So get this one as a faster one at least. So Ubuntu some version is fine. Just click on save. Okay. Release. Yeah. Okay, initialize the job. That means actually it went to the AMI and it might have triggered one, but we didn't got it anything. So here stage one, it is telling that the operating system is not capable of running this task. That typically means that task has written only for Windows. So for example, written for Windows desktop version. So we have some challenge here. Okay, so this is one of the right approach, but this tool has the limitation. This tool has the limitation because this guy actually giving it in a different approach. It's again a tool to tool design basically, right? So this tool is actually giving it a different approach and I should go into a different approach. I should not use this. Okay, then what is the different approach we have and how do I do that? Okay, so let me show you. This is no more useful basically. So this approach is possible probably with other tools. This tool is not the great for the approach which I took it. Okay, now so this AMI is also not needed, I think, right, in that particular case. Now, in the meantime, so what I wanted to do is I just want to just go here and say export. It's giving a JSON file. No, not this is not the one I'm looking. So what you can do is you can go inside this stage. So this is the one which you have. What you have something is here. Save as a template. What are the steps you have? You can save it as a template. So that means this is also not needed. So let me just go to all pipelines. This AMI is also not needed. Let me just delete this. Okay. Now I'll go to the front end. So where I have the proper AMI, I will just go into the pipeline. I have this. I'll just go with the edit pipeline and I'll click on this AMI. So here you have an option to save it as a template. So just click on save as a template. Now save as a template. So this template is basically for AMI. Okay, this is for AMI, typically for AMI, but actually you have certain problems. Basically what is the problems is here environment variables, you should not hard code them. Okay, var underscore component and var underscore env, I should not hard code them. I'll just put them through some other way. Okay, so now I have this. Now I will just go and so save as a template, so which I am going to say it as AMI. So just click on OK, and now your task is come as your task been or your stage has been exported as an your stage has been exported as a complete I mean stage level thing. So that's where now if anywhere if I want to do that, so then I'll go here and I'll just go to the all pipelines. Like let's say cart require an AMI, so then I'll just I don't want this. Let's say I'll delete this and I'll say I'll add a new stage, and the stage actually if you come down now you'll find out your templates. Yeah, you see this, you have your AMI, you see that, click on apply. Now you get that and you are going to say that it is AMI. So just click on save. So this one should go with after stage of yeah. So save. Okay. So this is what you have. Now you have AMI. Okay, and you go inside the task, you'll find out the same tasks with these limited environment variables. Now I need to pass some additional environment variables. How do I do that? So of course you can modify this, right? So you can just click on if you just click on this one, and if you go this, and I will say that so here now I will add the variables here. So this is another approach. But tomorrow, like let's say assume if I modify the I cannot modify the template. The template is already there, and you cannot modify that particular template. So since you cannot modify the template, now all the jobs will not get affected with your changes. All the jobs will not get affected with your changes. If you feel like so what all the steps you are making, for sure it's not going to change in that particular case, you probably go with the stage template. Now this also will not help us for us. Okay, now that means if I change some task in the backend, so if I change some tasks in the backend, so then I have to change in my pipeline as well. Or I can use this particular stage and I can so kind of enhance this a little bit more. And how do I do that is so probably this batch is there, right? So this one you can convert into a task group. So you can just click on there is a task group. Either you can go here and create it, or I already have some task. I'll just create a task group, and this task group I'm telling that so it's AMI hyphen dev I'm saying. Okay, so just click on create. Now go to the task groups. Okay, now go to the task groups, and you have AMI dev here I have. So now can you edit this? Of course you can click on this, you can go here. Now you can edit anything on this here. Now I'll say tf underscore env, which is dev. Done. Save. Done. Now I go to the environment. I go to the releases, and I'll go to the like let's say cart I was doing. So click on edit. So now here you have only this much variables. Now I go here. Yeah. So this is AMI. So just click on save. Now you cannot edit anything over here because it's global now. So you change here, everything will get affected. Okay, I go to the pipeline and I'll go to the variables. I'll say that so tf underscore var underscore component. So this is common, either it is irrespective of the environment. Irrespective of the environment, this is common. So that's where I want to put like so this is hot. All right. So these are the changes which I make it now. So and then you're done now. So this is how you can make it. Okay, so or else if you just click on this, now you put it to save as a template. So this you put it as a proper to AMI, click on OK. So this is already in this particular name. So if you want to delete that one, how do you do that? Templates. I don't know. I don't know where it comes. Okay. So releases. Okay, interesting. So I will just go to cart and just click on edit and click on this. You have this, which is fine. I have to add a new stage. Now, yeah, you have an option to delete now. I'll just say delete here. Okay, fine. All right. So now I will say that, so this cart, and I would like to, if I click on this, so this I'll put it as save as template. So now this template is having the task group. Okay, task group is having the list of tasks. You modify here, and this whole stage will get modified. Okay, so that's what I wanted to deal with this. Okay, so that's how I can make it common for everything. All right, so this is how you can just make your pipelines kind of holistic. It can work in any kind of situations. Okay, if you go with other tool has its own options, but the concept is still same, right? Our concept is our functional or technical requirement is still same. I want to reuse my code, that's it. Okay, so that's what I'm telling. So yeah, now tool to tool the things will change. I just need to explore the a bit of options. Okay, that's it. All right. Yeah, I think that's fine. So yeah, I just want to give you a glimpse on, so the things are possible here. It's much matured kind of thing, but still, yeah, there are some, there are not some straightforward options are available, but yeah, so the things can be done. Okay, either it is a straightforward or some other workaround things. The things are possible in Azure DevOps as well. Okay, so but you go into Jenkins, this whole approach is quite simple there. Okay, but you have to put a lot of effort to make it. The concept is still same. You can trigger the other job very simple. You can pass the parameters very simple. But in order to make that particular other job and you want to make it holistic, you have to write a lot of code inside Jenkins. Without code also you can do that, but I don't think so. Without code, you cannot reuse it basically. Okay. So these guys is not giving the code so far. For pipeline, they are giving the code. I know you are actually editing the YAML file, but for releases, they are not yet, they are not released any kind of code. But you can export the code and you can import into your code basically. You can do that. All right. But yeah, so for now we have that much limitation only. So we might expect in future so that if its code comes even much, it makes your life much easier. Okay, so that's a different story altogether. This is yeah, this is fine, and now your pipelines become holistic now. So let me go and edit all those things. Okay, so now I'll just go to the cart and I modified it. That's fine, and I'll just go to the catalog and I'll just click on edit. So this existing AMI will change. That's it. All right. So here my name is stage. Let's delete this and now put on new stage, and the stage is an AMI, and this AMI is actually calling a task group. If you go inside that, so just click on save, go there, go inside the task group, you'll see the this one, and agent is also open to an AMI, and this one is happening. All right, but additionally what you have to do, you have to add some variable here. So here you are going to say that tf underscore var underscore component is catalog. Okay, now go to the pipeline and I will say that this should trigger after this AMI. Okay, save, done. Now also in the mean say yeah, that's all, that's it, that's fine. Okay, so this is okay, and the next one is, and even in fact actually this AMI is that AMI, whatever the template we created is only for dev environment. You should give like AMI hyphen dev, or that's okay for now. It's okay, let it be. For now it is, we're just dealing with the dev environment. Once we go there, we'll look into the prod environment. Let's not do too much things at the starting. Okay, so one minute. Yeah, so there is a saying actually, basically what we call is I think I already told you. Yeah, I think I already told you this. So basically, you don't think too much at the starting, right? So I told you this particular point. Okay. So what I mentioned is, so we will cross the bridge when we get to it, or something like that. When we get to it, developer. It's a kind of, so developer usually will, think so many things later what would come and all. But yeah, so just to start the things, you don't think too much, and at the same time you have to write in something like that. So tomorrow your work should, your work should go with a very very minimal effort as well. So there are two things actually here, but yeah, it's a slight, what we call very thin line you draw between those things. Okay, that's a quite thing. And so this is the developer, so kind of approach. Okay, so all right, so the people usually talk about this. And yeah, so I'm just putting that particular, so context here. I can think more and do some modifications right now, but yeah, without that requirement, if you do it also for now, is really not needed. I don't want to confuse much. So for now, for dev environment is working, okay, let it work. Okay, so for prod, when we go there, we'll think about that. Okay, we'll do some rework, might be probably, but yeah, so at that time we'll do. All right, so let for now, let run the business. Okay, so now I think the card catalog is done. Friend end, I'll go and update it. Friend end also I need to update. So I have to delete this and just delete this, and I'll say that add a stage, and I'm calling it as AMI, and you say that it is AMI, and just click on save. To modify anything here, variables, I would like to say df underscore var underscore component, okay, which is front end. I cannot actually hardcode the environment variable here. Why? Because environment is for the whole pipeline. Okay, so that's how you can do that. Or else, okay, if you want to make it even holistic way, okay, I can do that. So let's go to the task groups. Let's go to the task groups. Let's go to the AMI and AMI dev, right? So let's modify this and say that this is only AMI. Okay, so just click on save, done. And let's go to the bash script and say that you have some environment variables. Let's delete this also. Even I can make it holistic way. Yeah, of course I can make it. So this is too holistic. Now AMI is fine. So wherever I want to create AMI, whether it is prod, whether it is dev, or whether it is any component, doesn't really matter. I'll call this AMI. Okay, now from the pipelines I'm sending the data. Now I'll go to the releases. So because releases have the functionality, now I'll go back to the cart and I'll say that edit, because the environment variable is needed. Now I will say that go to the variables and I'll say that tf underscore var underscore env. Okay, so which I want to say that is dev. And again, the same variable I want to put it, so, and I want to call it as prod. Okay, but there is a problem here. So it's the same key, it's not actually taking. So you cannot put it on the release. I would like to put it only to the AMI at the starting. Okay, so this one later some step will come, so that I will just try to put it there. Okay, so you can put to the particular scope to a particular stage also. Okay, keep that in mind. So later when prod is needed, so when the prod AMI step is created, at that time I'll put it to the prod. Okay, so now this is also done. Even tomorrow, like whatever I think also is done. Okay, so that's where I can do that. So you just need to look into the options. That's it, nothing more than that. Okay, I'll just click on edit and I'll go to the variables and I'll say that so df underscore var underscore env, and I am going to say that is a dev, but the scope has to be very limited to the AMI. Okay, so just click on OK, done. Now go to the releases and go to the front end, and front end also I have to do the same thing. Go to the variables, add df underscore var underscore env, which is dev, and I want to put the scope only to this. Done. Go to the releases. Okay, but there is an exclusive option about environments. Okay, but I'm not using it. So probably where it can be used, we'll take a look later. But for now, yeah, this is fine. So just click on other things, which is a payment. Click on edit. And I'll just delete this. Let me add the new one, correct one. So just click on add new stage. This is an AMI, and you put it as AMI. Just click on save, and per se this should go after AMI. All right, and so go to the variables. So go to the variables, and I will say that so df underscore var underscore component is payment, and df underscore var underscore env is dev, but this is limited to the scope is AMI. All right, so that's fine. And the next one is go to the releases and go to the releases, and which one payment is done, go to the shipping, click on edit. So you have this one, just delete this, and I'll say add. So which is new stage, called as this one, and I'm going to say this is AMI, and this one after save, go to the variables, add df underscore var underscore env, which is dev, but point to AMI, df underscore var underscore component is shipping. Okay, this much. Come to the releases, and you see that go to the shipping, and finally the user one. Okay, click on edit, and I will say just delete this, new stage, which is an AMI. You put like AMI, just click on save here. No, not this one here. Done. Go to the variables and say that so df underscore component is user, var underscore env is nothing but dev, and point it to only to the AMI. Okay, that's it. I'm done. Okay, so now if I run any kind of pipeline, yeah, it will go as expected. Okay, but we don't have the CI pipelines ready for other than the front end, so probably we need to make CI pipelines ready for every component out there, and then we can attach those particular things to our or I mean we'll be pushing to artifacts, and then we'll pushing that or pointing that particular artifacts to these pipelines. Then your pipelines are ready to run. Okay, so that's the whole idea. Okay, so now where are we? Basically going back to the diagram. So we just made our pipelines to follow the same same order, basically order of steps. We just configured our pipelines. Any component should follow the same order. So that's what we try to achieve so far. Okay, so now one thing is only front end can do the AMI. Why? Because the CI is ready only for front end. So we have to keep it for others as well. Okay, now how do I keep it for others? So it's quite simple. So you can just go to the here you have RoboShop project. So now you have Terraform front and you have Azure pipelines. So the same thing, I have to do it for every component as well. So I have to go and take this, and I will say so cart also. I have Azure pipelines, but I'll just put this, or I have already something. Okay, so artifacts directory publish. Here also, am I doing the same thing? Publish directory, yeah. So here what I'm doing is I'm creating one publish directory. I'm doing npm install and copying the files of node underscore modules server.js files into the publish, and I'm actually doing the artifact here. But the one small thing I have to do is I have to look for this ID. Yeah, and also I will just take this complete task and I will update here. So because we have some condition also, right? So this condition, and this one is I'll put in the name as cart. Okay, this is what I wanted to do. All right, so just click on push up this, and I will go and go to the pipelines, new pipeline, create it for Azure Repos Gate. So this is for cart, and you already have the code. So just click on run. Now this should publish an artifact to artifacts. Artifacts, so far what you have only front end. After this pipeline run, okay, after this pipeline runs, then it should come for cart also. But it will not come. Why? Because the publish tags will not go. Why? Because, yeah, quite simple, the tag is not there. If the tag is not there, then it will not publish. That's also okay. And again, I am not really doing that. Oh no, this also should modify. This trigger is something I need to modify. All right, no problem. So the publish artifacts at least went off. That's okay. Okay, now let's create a tag and push it. So I'll just go to cd shop hyphen project and I'll say cart and so git tag 0.0.1 and git space push tags. So now you created a tag and pushed it. So I'm expecting this pipeline to trigger. So you see this, the pipeline got triggered. Now it should publish the artifacts. Let's see. And also, is it created for tag only? We need to see. Yeah, this is created for the tag. So now you can see that the publish artifact is going on. But the publish artifact is a failure. So the reason for the failure is I don't know. What it is telling is why. So the path provided is invalid. Something it is telling. Okay, right. So here I will update this as this. This is not needed. I'll just cancel this. Let the above one run. So now make artifacts ready is failing now. What it is telling is not a directory. Artifacts directory. So here also I will say artifacts directory. Let me try this way. Three. The master one is not needed for now. I want only the tag to run. So yeah, I think the directory is mismatch. So now you got the artifact. So the same way, we'll be doing for each and every component. So probably we can take that in tomorrow's session, the remaining components. So we'll just set up the CIs. Once all the CIs are ready, so the CIs are ready to publish the artifacts. And whenever there is an artifact published, so then, so you can go and trigger your pipelines, or you can automatically trigger also. I already shown you that option. How can you automatically trigger? So if automatically getting triggered, so then yeah, so you can get the AMI immediately, and it get deployed to the dev environment automatically. So and after that, so there will be some security scans or whatever it is going to run. And so if everything is fine, it goes to the promote to production, and finally it goes to the production. And yeah, so it goes to the end user. So that's how the whole life cycle, but end to end is automation. So that's the main scope you need to understand. Yeah. All right, I think that's all from my side for today. Yeah, any questions? Okay, all right, no questions. We'll meet in tomorrow's session and we'll continue. Okay, thank you, see you tomorrow. Bye, good day, good night.